Jeff, wake up. It's time. Jeff.
I'm here.
Just kidding. My guest in the studio this morning is Jeff Getting. And he's running for office, and he wants you to know all about him. We were just commiserating over staying up way too late with baseball excitement, debates, and such. How about those Tigers?
Go Tigers. Looks like they're on their way to the World Series.
I'm excited. Jeff Getting is a name that you may know. He has brought 23 years of legal experience to his current position, having worked in the Kalamazoo County Assistant Prosecuting Office for many years. And he joins us this morning to tell us about why he wants the top job. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Lori. How are you?
Well, good. I'm splendid. I'm really excited about everything that's going on out there. Jeff, we have Election Day coming up in moments, and we want people to know all about you when they go to the polls. So, why do you want the job?
Well, to know why I want the job, you have to know a little bit about me. I grew up in West Michigan, just south of Grand Rapids. I've lived here my entire life, except for the 3 years when I was away at law school. I'm the oldest of 5 kids. My father's an iron worker. My mom stayed at home, took care of us, me and my brothers, sisters, made sure that we did our homework, stayed out of trouble, were home when the street lights came on. I was the first in my family to go to college and graduate. All of my brothers and sisters followed me in that regard, and all have graduated from college as well. I grew up in a house where we talked about things like loyalty and responsibility, integrity, fairness, toughness, doing the right thing. And in the end, those values are why I'm running for prosecuting attorney, because we have a prosecutor's office now that I don't think is living up to those values. And in order to make sure that my family is safe, to make sure your family is safe, to make sure all of your listeners' families are safe, it's necessary that we have a leader in the prosecutor's office that is going to do or is going to live up to all of those values.
You've been going after the bad guys for a while now.
I went after the bad guys for a long time as an assistant prosecuting attorney. I worked in that office from 1990 until 1998. I handled many of the most difficult to prosecute, high-profile cases in our community. I prosecuted several murder cases, more than I think anyone else in our office or in that office during that time. Since then, I've run a successful business here in Kalamazoo. My law practice has represented people charged with crimes, has represented people in domestic and family cases. I represent kids in juvenile court at a reduced rate for the county to try and give back all the things that I've gotten from this community.
Is that weird to go back and forth? I mean, because, you're prosecuting and then you're defending. Does it give you both sides or...
It's really important that it does give you both sides. From a perspective position, being able to say I've worked as a prosecutor, being able to say I've worked in the courtroom on the other side is extraordinarily important, because without that perspective, you've only got part of what's necessary to be an effective prosecuting attorney. Being an assistant prosecutor is an important part of the experience necessary to be a prosecutor, but it's only part of the experience that's needed. Having worked on both sides of the aisle, having run a small business, having made decisions on how to balance budgets, allocate resources in order to most effectively represent your clients is all very important experience, and that is the experience that distinguishes me from my opponent. He's an assistant prosecuting attorney, and that, like I said, is important as part of the experience, but it's only one part of the experience that's needed to effectively lead that office. As far as going back and forth, if you ask any good prosecutor what your job is, they'll say to see that justice is being done. And that's the same job that any defense attorney has. His order is to make sure that justice is being done and to effectively represent their client in a way in court that holds the judge to the rules, that holds the prosecutors to the rules, so that we do have justice in the end.
You said that you don't feel that the office is living up to what it could be. What do you think the problems are? Is it staffing? Is it leadership? Money? What would you
it's
improve?
not money. We live in a community. Kalamazoo County has 253,000 people. If I look to the west to Ottawa County, they have 263,000 people. It's essentially the same size. In Kalamazoo, we have a population, citizens who've committed to having a first-class organization. We have a budget of over $1.5 million more per year than what they have in Ottawa County. We have a staff of twice the number of assistant prosecuting attorneys that they have in Ottawa County. Money's not the issue. The issue is the way that that office has been run and the way that decisions are being made have led us to a position where when you compare us with Ottawa County, we have 40% more felony crime every year than they have in Ottawa. When you compare us to the north, to Kent County, they have a population that's over twice the size of Kalamazoo's. They have over twice the number of felony cases per year, and yet we have a staff of attorneys that's nearly equal to the number they have in Kent County. What we're doing in Kalamazoo is not making an efficient or effective use of our resources. In my practice, in my business, if I charged you twice as much and produced 50% of the results, well, I'd have been out of business a long time ago. It wouldn't take a week for me to be out of business. What we have to do in Kalamazoo is get away from trying to look like we're being tough on crime, when in fact we're not. We need to address each case individually, identify those people that are dangerous to our community, that are violent, that are repeat offenders, and single out, I don't want to say single out, we want to look at those cases and say, there's going to be accountability here, and we're going to do what's necessary to ensure that. In Kalamazoo, there are 12 attorneys that handle primarily felony cases. Those 12 attorneys combined last year did 61 trials. If you figure they each took a couple of weeks off for vacations, that leaves 5 trials, 12 times 5, 60, 5 trials each. If each attorney did 5 trials over 50 weeks, that's 1 every 10 weeks. We need to have an office that is willing to do the hard work that's necessary to hold violent and dangerous criminals accountable. And we need an office that's willing to do what's necessary in the other cases where we have nonviolent offenders. We need to look past just trying to create the label of a felony for these people in order to look tough on crime and start addressing those underlying issues that have led people to come into conflict with the system. If it's addiction, whether it's drugs or alcohol, we need to do something to address that. If it's mental health issues, we need to do something to address those. We need to use the system as an opportunity when people come into conflict with it to address issues, underlying issues, so that they don't keep coming back.
What does the jail overcrowding situation, how does that impact what the prosecutor's office is doing?
The jail overcrowding situation is difficult from the terms of the prosecutor's office because it may affect what the judges can do in terms of sentencing. We have this new jail that's being built right now, and it's going to come online. It's going to provide an additional 250 so beds that are going to be able to be used here in Kalamazoo County. And the other good thing about the jail that's being built, the addition that's being built, is it's being done with it's being done in a different way than the old jail was built. It's being built in a way that's going to allow for more effective management of an inmate population, more opportunity with the inmate population to provide treatment, education, programs that will assist inmates when they come out of jail so that they don't come back into jail. There's going to be an opportunity here to start doing things different. And that's part of what we're talking about with the prosecutor's office. It's been 36 years. And since 1976, the prosecutor's office developed policies and procedures in 1976 to do things a certain way. And that's what they're doing now. My opponent offers more of the same. He says the office is doing well. Well, I don't think 40% more felony crime, I don't think half the number of cases is doing things well. We can do this better.
Jeff Getting wants your vote. coming up on Election Day. He is running for Kalamazoo County Prosecutor. Do you have a website where people can read up on you?
Gettingforprosecutor.com. You can like us on Facebook as well. We're online, and those websites and Facebook pages are updated every day. Just because you've been there once, don't stop. Come back again. See what's new.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you very much for having me here today. Go Tigers.
Yeah, baby. 658, 590, 96.5 WKZO.